Right, I just had a matcha. I actually bought the Califia Farms and it was really good. It was really good. But today I wanted to sit down and talk about being autoimmune. So I started a series on my channel called The Growth Era. This wasn't just for me to create, this was me to share my journey, becoming the best version of me spiritually, emotionally, physically. The Growth Era isn't just about heavy lifting, the maintenance calories, the PRs, but what happens when you're mentally ready to go, ready to make the progress you need to see, but your body says, no, we're not ready. So for those of you that are new, I am Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune condition. I have been Hashimoto's for 20 years. I create a lot of wellness, bodybuilding, lifestyle, autoimmune content around this channel. So if that is something you are interested in, please give me a like and a subscribe. So for those of us with Hashimoto's or any autoimmune condition, a flare-up doesn't care about your training. It doesn't care that you're mentally ready to grow or that you're in a growth phase. Today I'm going to be completely transparent about what happens when my health crashed in December of 2024 and how I handled the mental guilt of missing the gym, having to take time out, being hospitalized, and how to pivot my plan so that I didn't lose my gains or my mind. I wish I had this video when I had my first autoimmune flare-up in about 8 years. So a flare-up isn't just about being tired. It's a deep cellular exhaustion. So for me, the signs were suddenly my weights in the gym felt extraordinarily heavily. I actually had the right side of my face, my ear swelled, my face swelled, then my glands started to swell. So I felt like I couldn't focus, my mind was foggy, my inflammation was so high in my body, I was just ignoring it and I didn't even recognize myself. So when these happen, the bodybuilder in me just wants to push through. The athlete says, don't worry, keep pushing. The one thing that we're good at is we keep pushing, but the health side of me knows pushing through a flare-up is the fastest way to stay sick for a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And my DMs are flooded. Since sharing my autoimmune story, it seems like people can resonate and talk to me, especially my Instagram DMs. So it's nice to feel like I'm not alone, especially because it's taken me 15, 16 years of having an autoimmune disease to actually be able to speak about it. So I felt like the mental battle was the hardest because it felt like I was shrinking, losing progress, losing time. I used to feel so much guilt for having to sleep so much, and I felt like I should be doing something, should be working, should be at the gym. But here's facts. You cannot build muscle in a state of high systemic inflammation. If your body is attacking itself, you're not actually optimizing your recovery. You're not optimizing your health so that when you do return, your body, your mind, your spirit is all aligned. So you are capable of growing. For myself, I found the mental fortitude. A lot of us start the gym for a mental escape. I know that I see a shift in my clients when they start to see the mental health benefits compared to the physical benefits. That's when I see the biggest transition for my clients. So that is when you actually fall in love with the gym. So what did I do? How did I pull myself out? It was very much a case of talking to my coach, finding the best plan of action. This hasn't happened for a good few years. We've been very good at managing it. Went through a prep, didn't get it. Went through a diet, didn't get it. But here's what I actually had to do when my body was saying no. Number one, I reduced the volume, not the effort. I still went to the gym with the same amount of effort as I would, but we dropped the volume back. So if I was doing 3 sets, I now would be doing 2 sets. I was still training to the accuracy which I knew that I needed, but just that reduction in volume alone, it helped me recover and helped me feel like I was still making some type of progress, but I also was honoring how my body was feeling. Number 2, anti-inflammatory protocol. So I made sure that my diet consisted of, I'd say 95% whole foods, bar cream of rice, which is a rice-based product trained by JP. I made sure that all of my food was whole based. No off plans, no eating anything extra that was not in my plan. I had a variety of fruits and vegetables. There is a list of anti-inflammatory foods. If you'd like me to do a separate video on that, I absolutely can. But focusing on my greens, my microgreens, things like that really helped. Number 3, lymphatic movement. So when I felt like I couldn't generally go to the gym to weight train, I would make sure I would get my 10,000 steps in. That helped me go outside. That helped me feel more refreshed. Additionally, I stretched 6 out of 7 nights every single night. I used to be a dance teacher, so I know that it's easier for me to stretch when my body is hydrated. Yes, it can be a bit uncomfortable with my stomach, but for myself, I found the most benefit stretching at night. And that's when I did some yoga. I wouldn't say I'm a yogi, but I can do some stretches of yoga to help have that lymphatic drainage. Number 4, the most important part I can say to anyone that's having an autoimmune flare-up, it would be sleep. I was sleeping, I'd say about 8 hours in the night, 3 hours in the day at a minimum. I was just honoring my sleep. It let my thyroid heal, it let my body heal, it let my mind heal. One thing about me is when I'm going through a flare-up, I need to sleep. I know that when my body is under stress, it struggles to sleep, but because I was so exhausted, it was a massive part for me. Now, unfortunately, I've only taken antibiotics twice in my life. This was the second time I had to take it because it seemed like this would not go down without antibiotics. So my gut lining took a massive hit. So I had to take V2, I believe the supplement is, and I recommend it to all clients that are on some form of antibiotics which could just rip through our gut lining. And I generally felt like my protein had to be halved. It was generally coming from egg whites and fish because I don't eat chicken, but lean protein was the best for me at that time. I felt as if my stomach had taken such a hit and I was holding so much water, but I still kept my water high even though I was on these antibiotics. No fault of my own, but it was how my body needed to heal. So I needed to document this story because now I feel like I'm at a point in my journey where I can tell you I had my first auto flare-up. It did happen. I'm well recovered now, but the early warning signs to take are there. And if you feel like you are seeing those early warning signs or you've been recently diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, I would love to hear in the comments what you've been diagnosed with, or if you don't want it in the comments, drop me a DM. I'm all about making sure that we can grow on this channel and provide as much education as possible to as many people as possible. I actually have a best friend that was diagnosed with Crohn's about 2 years. She had a flare-up and I was helping her through it, and I realized it's taken me a long time to get to this stage, to be able to publicize on the internet, this is what I go through. I have to take 4 weeks, out of my normal routine, which anyone that knows me knows I love and thrive on a routine. So I needed to make sure that no one ever felt alone, and that's exactly why I started this growth era. So the growth era is a long journey. I'm not your average Joe. I do have an autoimmune disease, and I've been autoimmune for nearly 20 years. 1 week or 1 month of a flare-up won't ruin your progress. You just need to honor the recovery. And that's something that I wish I had a video or someone to send me when I was going through it, so that we could share this and realize that not everyone is alone. And that's the beauty of the internet and the beauty of YouTube, because you feel like you are part of something, or so you can resonate with something. And not everyone is going to be able to resonate with my story, or an autoimmune flare-up, or a massive high systemic inflammation, but it's something that I've learned to navigate as I've gotten older, and it's something that I feel like I needed to share my story. So I hope that you stick around for the growth era. Today I just wanted to sit down and do a very informative but chill catch up about how I deal with my flare-up. And if you have any tips or tricks around your flare-ups, drop them in the comments down below. I hope to see you next Saturday at 10 AM.